Testing, testing. I've had so many technical difficulties this past week. I don't dare get on this thing and not do some sort of testing. And even then, there's no guarantees. Hi, this is Nancy Duffy, and you're listening to Late Talks on Air for this Sunday, June 7th, 2026. Thank you for joining the show. Today, I want to talk to you about moving. Now, you're going to say, oh, are we talking about like physically moving, mentally moving, like moving, like you pack boxes and you head for a destination and you're making a total change. But here's the thing, when you move physically, whether you're going from point A to point B permanently or for a job opportunity, or maybe you're graduating university or college and you're moving away from home for the very first time, we've all done this. But maybe it's your first time. Or maybe you've been in the place that you're at now for a while and you're contemplating a move, or you think that there should be some sort of change. Maybe there should. Maybe a move isn't necessary at all. Maybe all you need is an adventure to kind of shift your mindset and to kind of push you forward toward that thing that you're supposed to be doing. The reason I bring this up, and the reason I bring this up right now, there's a young lady who's doing something quite remarkable in that she left from the coast of California. We're talking about Kelsey Pfendler, and you can follow her and learn more about her by going to her website, which is urowkelsey.com, and she'll have all of her socials on there. And she's posting almost daily on social media about her journey. And I think she's on, I can't remember what day she's on right now, but her goal is to be the first American woman to row from the coast of California to Hawaii. And in the process of setting this goal, she, of course, is going to come across obstacles. She knows she is. And she's rowing in a custom ocean rowing boat. She calls it Lily. And this vessel, it's a Rannoch R25. And it's about 21 feet long. And it's about 5.5 feet wide. That's it. It is heavier. It weighs 730 pounds. And this boat is specifically designed so that it can automatically self-right itself. That's a terror. It can, if it turns over in the ocean, it can make itself go right side up. Okay? Now, I cannot swim, so that would still be a deal breaker for me, but not for her. And the other thing that Kelsey's got going for her is that she's tethered to this boat as well. So if the boat should flip over in the ocean, 21 feet in an ocean is like nothing, invisible almost. But if it should flip over in the ocean, she can't get lost from her boat. And as long as she closes all the hatches, I can't remember the term that's used, but as long as everything's closed, she's also not at risk of, like, the boat is not at risk of sinking. You know, the things. I'm not a mariner. It still seems risky. Although if I were going to be in a boat in the middle of the ocean, that would be the kind of boat that I'd want to be in. This kind of reminds me of when I was learning how to stand up paddleboard. I cannot swim. So again, for me, it's brave to go out on the water in a stand up paddleboard. But I remember the first time that I did it, it's unsinkable because this thing it's buoyant, right? So it just floats. And as long as you're tethered to the stand-up paddleboard, you'll be okay. So I figure if I start, taking in water or drowning and I'm still tethered, I can maybe splash my way toward it and I'd be okay. So this is what this person is doing. And she's all by herself. She is an experienced rower. She's in very good shape, and this is not her first rodeo, although this is her first solo trip that she's making. So let's just quickly introduce you here. So I'm going to go to, this is Kelsey, and For those of you who are on audio only, I'm just going to her website, and it's located at row, as in rowing, Kelsey, KELSEY.com. All right, so this is Kelsey. And what you can do on her website, you can actually track her progress. So this is her mission: to row solo and unsupported more than 2,400 miles from Monterey, California to the Hawaiian island of Oahu. I'm so screwing this up. In doing so, Kelsey Pfendler aims to become the first American woman, the youngest woman, and the fastest woman to complete this crossing solo. The current world record is 86 days and 10 hours and 5 minutes, and it's held by Leah Ditton, and only 2 women have ever completed a solo row to Hawaii. She intends to be the third, she says. The solo row depends so much on the right weather window, so patience is key to a successful launch and fast row. And then there's something that's called the show race viewer, and you can actually see her progress. So here she is. And for those of you who are on audio only, it's a really cool map that kind of shows the course that she should be taking in red. And then you can see the path that she's on and the little icon on her boat right now. So it shows her exact location and how many knots she's currently going. And that's where she's at. So very much in the middle, in my opinion. She kind of looks like she's in the middle of the ocean. She's not quite, but that's what it appears to be. Now, things have not been easy for her. She's already come across a few problems. So let's, we're going to quickly go to a point where she gets really discouraged. Let me just share this with you quickly.
Day 8 of becoming the first American woman to row solo from California to Hawaii. Today was really hard. I think yesterday when that big system was kind of ending, all the big waves, I was really excited that I was getting a normal kind of northerly back along the coast, getting some following cities that were just kind of having a little bit of time to reset. But that is not what happened today. At the end of that system, a really strong westerly came in. So I've just been rowing against a westerly wind that was been blowing me east since 11 o'clock last night. And I'm still rowing. It's okay. I knew this was going to be hard, and this is just one of the hard things. I'm in a really good spot right now, where I need to be to get off the coast. I've been going fast. Oh, it's doing great. I'm feeling okay. It's demoralizing to row all day, not to make miles, but just to keep what you worked so hard for. I feel like I'm just trying to cling to the miles that I've made.
It's kind of heart-wrenching in a little bit. So that's day 8 of her journey so far. She's further into it at this point. But what she just said, if that doesn't resonate with you, because how many times have you partaken in a journey, and you don't have to go into the middle of the ocean for this to happen, for you to feel this and experience it. But how many times have you set out to do something and maybe you think you were going in the wrong direction, or you were rowing in the wrong direction metaphorically, and you lost ground because of it? And wow, that's at that point you can decide, do I give up? Do I turn around? At that point, you're really at a fork in the road of fate. Now, luckily for Kelsey, things turn around for her, and I was so proud. And it's so funny, the followers that are following this woman, it's such a good example. And this is really the type of thing, the type of adventure that can pull a lot of people together. So she does turn a corner.
I definitely turned a corner today, physically and metaphorically. last night I went on pair anchor from like 9 till 11:30, or something around that. The weather watchers had predicted that the wind would shift around 11:30 and stop being against me so much and start coming from the north, and it did. And I had a following wind since then. I've had it all day, and it's been really awesome just to be able to sit here and the boat's moving. Just so cool. But also starting to make that turn. So instead of just going straight down the coast with a little bit of western angle, I'm going to start making that turn into the trades to go west towards Hawaii, which is a big deal. It feels really awesome. And I'm just like starting to let myself feel like I'm going to get off, and it's really happening. So that's exciting.
Right? Even if you've not been following Kelsey up until this point, when you hear that, we're cheering for her because she's in this little boat in the middle of the ocean, and there's no one there but her and the boat and maybe her faith and that will that says just keep going. So she gets her momentum back, and I think she's doing really well right now. All eyes are on her, and she does this also, and she shares her why, which I think is very significant and also kind of paves the way of where I want to go with this episode.
The allure of doing an Indo-Pacific solo was really intense for me, just because I wanted to do it alone. I wanted to see what I could do by myself and what I could make possible. But also just to know what it's like to be alone for that long was, it sounded exactly like what I wanted. And I love hard things. I really do. I think endurance sports are really valuable to just figuring out who you are as a person and testing your limits and finding your boundaries. I like to say that there's a part of my person or a piece of me that I don't really get to hang out with unless I'm doing really hard things.
Me too. Being open to adventure and being willing to make a move and actually carrying through with it is a catalyst for change. That's not to say that things are always going to be perfect. They're not. And you're going to come across challenges along the way that will push you and press you. But it's in that pressing that we can grow and become stronger. If you think of all the challenges that Kelsey is going through right now, it's teaching her so many things about herself. But one of the other things it's going to teach her when she actually reaches her destination is she'll have all this gratitude for what she learned, but also too for the things that she left behind while she was taking this adventure and this journey. Just because we can't take all the people and experiences and things with us while we're away doing the hard thing doesn't mean that we don't reflect on those people and those things that we left behind. It doesn't mean that they weren't important. So taking on adventure can be very complicated because in one sense we want the room to be able to grow, and then in the other sense we also have other responsibilities and things in our lives that we have to take care of. Sometimes change is forced upon us, and sometimes it's of our own will and of our own doing. Either way, consequences be as they may, however the chips fall. So if you're moving away to college or university, you're going to grow because you're going to meet new people. You'll be forced to meet new people. You'll be forced to have a new place to live, and you'll have to set up a budget, and you'll have to do all the things that adulting people do. Think of our parents and our grandparents that came before us that crossed entire oceans to start brand new lives, often with nothing, and how they grew into the families that we have today. Think of people who were in relationships who were told, you're not the one for me. And then that person had to then pick up the pieces and figure out who it was that they were. And in the process of living, have had to go through all these changes and these moves, maybe that weren't their choice, but they're growing nonetheless. I like to also sometimes think of the example of Julia Child, because maybe I like Julia Child so much because, number one, she got a really late start in life with her cookbooks. Number two, she knows how to cook, and this is a personal challenge of mine. But Julia Child, let me just read this quickly. She's originally from California. She moves to Paris in 1948 when her husband was relocated by the U.S. State Department. Who doesn't want to go to Paris? But it wasn't something she chose. It was something that they were relocated for. Upon moving, it sparked a lifelong passion for French cuisine. And at the age of 50, after fully immersing herself in her new country, she publishes her seminal book called Mastering the Art of French Cooking, Fundamentally Changing Culinary Media. How wonderful is that? So there's an example of this is something that's being dealt to you. This is somewhere that you're going to be. What are the possibilities? Every move is two moves at once. The moving boxes or the yes to the adventure, so either the physical move or saying yes to the adventure, and the becoming that all of that creates. You're not going to be the same person. Kelsey's not going to be the same person when she gets to the other side. If we look at physical moving, the boxes, these are the things that we're going to bring with us on our adventure. What this does is it forces you to make very tough choices of what you'll bring. If you look at Kelsey's example, she's got a 21-foot boat in the middle of the ocean. There's only so many things she can bring with her over this journey, however long it's going to take her to get from California through to Hawaii. So she has to make some tough choices. What do I need? What are, in a sense, for her, it might be a little bit easier because now you're looking at basic survival. I need water, I need food, I need my supplies. And I'm sure it's much more complicated than that. But because she has a very specific adventure goal in mind, what do I need to get from point A to point B? With the understanding that I'll be able to reconnect with family and friends and all the other things that I need upon reaching my goal. So almost like a reward. For the rest of us, if we're making a physical move somewhere, what we choose to bring, we kind of bring those things that we don't think we can live without. When I moved to Ottawa, for example, I brought a single suitcase and whatever it is that I could fit in that suitcase that I knew that I needed. That's not to mean that I didn't treasure what was left behind. That doesn't mean that I didn't also need what was left behind. But I was on an adventure and I had a very specific goal in mind of the things that I wanted to do. And once I got a taste of that, then I wanted to go get those things that I left behind. So it really teaches us a lot. So think about that. Like when you're thinking of your next move, what is it that you really need? What is it that you shouldn't leave behind? On the other side of adventure, I think one of the wonderful takeaways is gratitude. Is I survived that. I'm okay. I'm alive. And then it really makes you focus on, oh, I really love that person. Or I really miss my family. Or if the people that you meet on the other side become your new family and your new loved ones, it's like, oh, thank goodness I got to meet you. Thank goodness I got to do this thing. Life is too short to not be adventurous. Life is too short to never have taken the risk. I was recently told this. The road only runs out when we can no longer be open to the possibilities of adventure. Pack light, begin again. I've got a number of wonderful guests coming up over the next couple of weeks. I'm very honored to be speaking to, I think I have at least 5 people coming up on my schedule. So I'm very excited to share their stories with you as we continue to grow Late Talks on Air. This is brand new for me, the way that I'm doing this. It takes a lot out of me, to be honest. So this is an adventure for me. This is me stepping out, and it's been very vulnerable. And for all of you who are out there doing adventurous things, I tip my hat to you. And that's it for our show this week. I'd like to thank Kelsey Pfendler for providing us a source of inspiration. We're rooting for you, Kelsey, so we can't wait to see you reach the shores of Hawaii. So Godspeed to you. And thank you for listening and for being here today. Everything that we discussed today, of course, will be in our show notes as per usual. Come visit me at latetalksonair.org. Until next time, have a good night, everyone.